Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Team Big Plays. So what we got for you today is a ban list prediction video. Some of these cards are ones that I think are going to get banned. Some of them are ones, limited, semi-limited, all that stuff. I think I might hold cards that I think will get unbanned either for another video or maybe not at all, just because, not to get anyone hopes up, because that can happen. Like, Cap G was like, oh, we'll get Needle Fiber and Savage Strike. I think a lot of people started thinking, we'll get Needle Fiber and Savage Strike. It's going to be there for sure, which is, obviously not true. I didn't have my hopes up too high just because of Needle Fiber's too busted. I don't know if Japan's even going to want to ever import it personally. If I were them, I would not. If so, limit it immediately, just because of, you can already see the impact of Japan and what they have over there. So, but yeah, and if you like today's video, guys, remember to hit like, subscribe, and notification bell. I plan on recapping on a couple of my deck lists I did, Prank Kids and Trick Stars, primarily, just because Prank Kids, I started messing around with an invoked engine, so that way you guys get the invoked variant, and Trick Stars because, as you can see by my new logo for the team, that Savage Strike just released, and that means that new Trickstar cards were released, primarily being Trickstar Carabine, Trickstar Live Stage, and I think it was Diveris? I don't know. I know it's a link to, starts with a D and has Diva in it somewhere. So, yep, and we're just going to get kind of straight into our ban, like what we think is going to get banned. After that, we're going to go, semi-limited, limited, or limited, limited, semi-limited. All right, well, let's just get started. All right, so for first up, I think one of our bigger problems, too, would be Topologic Gumbel Dragon. Now, one of the reasons why I think that this is possibly, one of the not so happy ones, not one of those happy little accidents to have in here, just because its ability to rip out your opponent's hand or your hand, especially in combination with Aqua Dolphin, is just absolutely insane. I think is unfair because that, depending on the deck, if you're playing Dangers, obviously I think that's going to help you more than anything, but that's very rare exceptions that will actually help you and give you, ability to play. So I think, this card just needs to go. Even other strategies, that'll rip out your hands, like, let's even use Delinquent Duo, because that got banned. You're only ripping 2 cards out, and even then, unless you top deck 3 of them, it's not going to do much. Same thing with, the Droll Reincarnation combo. Sure, I can get rid of your hand, but, I have to have, 3 separate pieces, or maybe 2, depending on if you search or not, and that's just, that's tedious. You definitely do not land that combo every single time, and even then there's stuff to stop that. Here there's not really a lot. You can Ash and hope that it works, or try to effect Valor, but other than that, you're not gonna be doing too much against this combo. So Gumbel, you need to go, bud. Sorry, but you don't make the cut. Not today, pal. Alright, so next up we have number 86, Heroic Challenger Rangominiad. This card, I've been a little, thinking maybe it shouldn't, but I think it'd be best if it did, just because, a lot of other decks might be able to pull this thing off better. So, explaining my reasoning, obviously, if it gets 5 material, you don't get to play. Not only do you not get to play, you get to board wipe your field for a turn, and then they still can't play. So anything that just, stops your opponent from, which obviously, every Yu-Gi tuber says, I think every Yu-Gi-Oh player that doesn't play the deck says, is stopping your opponent from being able to play is unfair. Granted, there are a lot of steps to get here. As you can see, this deck wasn't as dominant. I think part of that, why it wasn't as dominant in Sydney, was just because this was probably like the most prepared deck against. And, you know, just on top of that, you have Sky Strikers and Thunder Dragons, which are pretty good matchups against this anyways. But that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be decks that could just completely take advantage of this card. A lot of people say Gossip Shadow needs to go. I think that's not necessary, so long as they don't make another card like this. However, not gonna lie, I did see a Madolche play that used Gossip Shadow. That was like, if you get 10 cards under this, you win the duel. I don't know necessarily how consistent that is. I don't play the deck, so I wouldn't know. But this definitely seems to be, you know, kind of the root of the problem. And I think that it could just cause more trouble down the line, whereas Gossip Shadows, you know, I'm just going to negate and we both draw. Cool. Like Dark Bribe, but, you know, a bit better. So, yeah. Rongo, everybody. Big clap because, you know, he's gone. Goodbye. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, you don't make the cut either. All right, so another card that I haven't really heard talked about too much. I've heard some glimpses of, well, you know, maybe semi-limited or limited. But Saryuja Skuldread, to be honest with you, this is just kind of one I wanted to throw in there to kind of throw in my thoughts. But mostly because this card just, it enables FTKs too. You get to just go through your deck like no tomorrow. So even if you don't get FTKs, one, you can run 3 of these. So you can just deck search using this. So first of all, it's 3 copies of generic deck search that you can just access at any point in time. It's a special summon. Like, what more do you need? And it's just so easy to get out. You just need 4 monsters with different names. And honestly, that's not difficult, especially in today's day and age. With how Link monsters work. So, yeah, this is one I definitely thought might hit the ban list. Definitely something to watch out for. I think Konami would rather keep Slash Draw, but I don't know. This is more my opinion than anything. Personally, I think if they limit it, it'll be perfect where it's at. The decks that need it can still use it, and the decks that just use it for degenerate purposes, then they won't have the amount that they need for those degenerate purposes. So, yeah, this is definitely something that just be on the lookout for. Be careful, you know. If you have a surplus of Saryuja, hang on to them for now, but definitely this may get banned. So, it's not a bad idea to sell them for, you know, what they cost and then just buy them back after the ban list if it doesn't. Just one of those cards, but yeah. So Saryuja, you know, leave your comments down below what you think. We're gonna move on to our next card on the list, which would be Izol, Two Tales of the Noble Knights. Now, a lot of people earlier, I think I would say before November and a little bit after, say probably into December halfway through, people thought about banning Isolde, and nowadays you don't hear a lot of talk about it. So this is one I think Konami might hit. They're Konami. I don't see why they wouldn't, just because it has caused problems before, which is kind of sad because I think it is very good generic warrior support. But warriors at this point, I think, just take over a solid percentage of the meta in general. Like, a lot of the top decks recently have been warriors. Goki, Gumblar, Rongo. Well, Gumblar is not a warrior, but, you know, obviously Isolde enables that because you're using all warriors. Sky Striker is a warrior-based deck, right? Is a warrior. However, you know, the others are machines. But, so this is definitely something I could see going. Like I said, you know, it'll summon Aqua Dolphin and straight out. And it's been considered before. So this is just something to watch out for. I don't think it needs to get banned. Maybe limited because, you know, once Crystron, well, if, like I said, I don't think it's going to come out. But if it comes out, this could become problematic with that. So I think Konami, you know, this is just a limit. Put this to 1, be fine. If it does arise in the future where it's a problem, then ban it. But this is definitely something to make sure that, like, make sure you know that it could be banned. Like that, there's a chance there. So up to the next card, which actually I got an idea from Team Samurai X. So, you know, shout outs to Team Sam. Thanks, man. And the card being Brilliant Fusion. Now, I seen something that Team Samurai X was talking about, Sam, and it made a lot of sense. It's apparently, you know, I think it's like you use one Gem Knight, one like light monster, I guess, some other type of monster. You send those from your deck to your grave, special summon Arafa Night, so you're getting another normal summon, and then you can send cards like Snow, or if you're playing Thunder Dragons, which I thought was like, oh, because then you can send copies of your Thunder Dragon monsters to the grave, not only for advantages of the effects they have in grave, and, you know, effects to save your fusions, but Arafa Night, which gives you another normal summon. I don't want to say straight out of nowhere, but like, and I do see that being problematic. So I think that this would be a good hit to Thunder Dragons. Obviously, I don't think that's a deck we should hit too hard right now, because it is a natural check and balance to Salamangreats when they come out. Because, you know, if the OCG tells the truth in what its meta does, that, you know, Salamangreats will just completely walk all over our meta if this ban list hits, you know, like all the targets. And I don't mean that in a bad way, obviously, you know, Rongo and Gumbel need to go, but if it's like, oh, we're just gonna complete straight out ban Engage, limit Kagari, limit Thunder Dragon Colossus, ban Gold Sarcophagus, you know, that could pose a real problem. So, but this is something that, like I said, Team Samurai X, shout out to him, man, give me the idea for, mostly because it was in his video. You know, I think this could wind up on this, so definitely be ready. And yeah, so next we're gonna move on to our limited cards. So, all right, so now we have Sky Striker Ace Kagari. So I've seen a lot of thoughts on this. I've seen limited, semi-limited, some just, you know, not even hitting it. This is a card I personally think limited might be a little much, but it's not a bad start, just because, you know, they can always move it down, and then Sky Circles will come straight back. But just because, you know, you can recycle Kagari, it's not that hard to keep looping back into your extra deck. But I think it does pose a lot, I don't necessarily want to say problems. Personally, I think Sky Striker is a very fair deck to play against, at least compared to a lot of the other bullshit like Gumbel and Rongo. So, yeah, this is something that I think going to one won't completely wreck Sky Strikers, but it will put them at a slight disadvantage. I don't know, maybe it will. So then maybe two. This is definitely something that I think two is an open stance for. But, yeah. So, Kagari, everybody, here to stay, but not too many of you. So, taking another stab at Thunder Dragons here, we have Gold Sarcophagus. So, the way Gold Sarcophagus works is, since it banishes one of your Thunder Dragon monsters, that triggers its effect. I don't necessarily know which one, but I think it does trigger some Thunder Dragon effect that allows you to search, which, you know, gets you into Dragon Hawk. Dragon Hawk gets you into Dragon Dark, or, you know, whatever else that you would like to bring out. I think Duo can extend your combos sometimes. I know it's a one of, but yeah. So again, like I said, Thunder Dragons doesn't need to be super hit, because if it does, Salamangreat will be a problem, leaving a lot of decks to have to deal with it. So yeah, Gold Sarcophagus. There's not much else to explain there. Just simple hit that's not going to damage the deck too much, but it will, like, slow it down just a bit for some of the newer decks to kind of get a chance to rise up, which is, you know, one of the hardest parts about this ban list, is that, you know, if Konami hits too much, Salamangreat's going to wreck the meta. then no decks are going to get the chance to rise up. But if they don't hit these bigger decks, then all the new decks still won't have a chance to rise up. Even though, Solomon Great will still have a problem, then that would be the only deck to kind of come out, which I think Konami's just might be trying to push for, new lately, because a lot of this stuff has been pretty consistently the same over the year. Pendulum Magicians, Goki has still managed to stick around in the Ranga variants. Very impressive. Warriors in general, Danger. And I think kind of seeing Prank Kids win Milan also give them a bit of a confidence boost, so to say. But yeah, Gold Sarcophagus, everybody. We're going to move on to the next deck, which I haven't done any hits on yet. All right, and what we got for you is Ulta Guys Multi-Faker. And this is the semi-limited part. Sorry, I guess I should have mentioned that, huh? But yeah, this is the semi-limited part. I think Multi-Faker should go to 2. Like I said, same thing with Gold Sarcophagus. It's not a big hit, especially with Pot of Indulgence out now. Well, about to be out by Saturday. But because, one, Ulta Guys aren't a very extra deck heavy deck, so Pot of Indulgence will allow them to dig for this a lot easier. And I mean, I guess I don't really know how often situations come up where you're using 3, you're mainly using it for consistency reasons. So I think that kind of trade-off will keep it where it's at, but along the lines might hurt the deck a bit. So, like I said, it's a fair thing. You got to have new decks kind of coming in, especially to keep the game interesting. So I think this going to 2 is good. If you go to 1, I don't think Ulta Guys are going to be doing so hot. I think they're going to drop. But I think 3, then you're not hitting the deck if you put it to 3. So I think that this is a solid number to start out with until at least the next ban list. Then you can probably get rid of the deck. So, and then we're just gonna move on to the next card. Like I said, this is pretty simple. It's a lot like Gold Sarcophagus in this situation. So, next card up. Same thing, as Ulta Guys, obviously. And this is the last one, by the way. Is Mobilize Engage. So, honestly, it's pretty simple. I think Engage it 2, Kagari 1. I don't know. I think that'll hurt the deck, but keep it around just enough to let these new decks come in, and then it'll fade. So, but other than it's a very consistent deck anyways. You have ways to search Engage, you have ways to dig through your deck now, so I don't think that this is too bad of a hit. Maybe Kagari to 2 would make it fair, especially because they have Rhoda now, which I guess that is kind of a thing lately. Sky Strikers have been relying on Ray more, but yeah, so just put this to 2. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think I need to explain it more. I think you get it. Whether you agree or not is a different story. But, because personally I think Sky Strikers can remain around. But I figured, if Konami's going to hit something, you should know that this is probably going to hit to 2. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. As always, like, subscribe, notification bell, comment down below what you think. And, if you made it this far, congratulations. Let you in on a little bit of knowledge. I plan on doing a mat giveaway soon. Been debating on which mat to give away. I'm not going to necessarily say anything because I don't want to get people's hopes up or have people be like, oh, I don't want that mat. So I'll let you know in one of the next videos, probably in one of my deck profiles, when I can actually, physically show you guys the mat and that, like, I have it. We're ready to go. So, yeah, end of the video. Team Big Play signing off.